Here's one of my Plummy Smoky eye looks. So first, I'm going to use a cream shadow boldly on my brow bone, but lightly dust it all over. Both eyes, just using a flat shadow brush. And again, I want to make sure that I leave it bold on my brow bone. Now I'm using a shimmery pink, packing it on my eyelid. So it's a packing method versus more of a blending method. We're just going to blend, pat, 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 pack, pack, pack. Now I'm going to take a dark purple plum using a crease brush, and I'm going to lightly just blend that into my crease. So now that I'm 37, I feel like I need to lift up my brow bone so I can really get in there. And again, just starting on the outside corner of the eye, just blend, blend, blend using a crease brush, which is going to be firmer than a blending brush. You can see me really stay in the outside corner there. Adding a little more color. I'll always sit back and measure both eyes. So now I'm using like a darker plum and applying it to the outside corner of the eye, blending, 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 stepping back, measuring them, making sure that when I clean up that fallout, it's going to look good. I wanted to go for an even deeper look, so I used a pencil brush and added carbon, which is a deep black, on the outside corner of the eyes. And then I'm blending it, and you can see the contrast there. Now, the blending brush is really fluffy, and I use a windshield wiper motion to blend. Finishing up that look, I go back to that shimmery pink that I used, and I'll blend that on my lid, just to make sure it's clean and crisp. Again, what you can see me doing through the video is stepping back and making sure that everything looks even. Do I need to add? Do I need to blend? Looks good. Sometimes I like to keep blending. Again, using the windshield wiper motion, back and forth, blend, blend, blend. If all else fails, ladies and gentlemen, just keep blending. Using one of my favorites, it's a really easy technique as far as the cut crease. I just take a stiff flat brush and just draw a line on the outside corner and into my crease, almost forming like a V, and lightly blending it just for a soft cut crease look. Again, this is one of my dailies because I am a makeup artist. I run a hair salon and a makeup studio, so I have to look the part. So I like shortcuts. And then this is my favorite eyeliner, the Luxe Cream in Onyx, which is a black. So what I do is I bend over, rest my elbows on in my case, my bathroom counter or your vanity, and you hold your eye taut. And then sometimes I start on the outside corner or on the inside. In this case, I'm starting on the inside and working my way out and just winging it out. So I usually work off the back of my hand with this product, and it does not move. You really seriously need a good eye makeup remover to take it off. So again, on this eye, I'm just going to hold that taut and just apply it. Hold that eye taut and just swing that liner out. And then I always step back, measure, take a look. Measuring, making sure everything's even. Looks good. So my favorite eye makeup remover, which we sell at Faces by Frida, I just use a Q-tip and just clean it up. So any fallout makes your life a lot easier. Remember, I wear dramatic looks on a daily basis, and you can too. This makes it a lot easier and just honestly quicker. So I'm just cleaning it up. I've already moisturized my face and primed it. getting ready for the foundation, but not before I perfect the points on my cat eyes. Yep, looks good. Moving on. I'm using two different foundations, two different shades to transition me from summer into fall. I'm just going to do a pea-size amount of each color on the back of my hand. I normally use a foundation brush, but today I'm using a sponge. It's similar to the blending or the blender sponge, but I like this because it's flat on one side, so it allows me to tap, and I have the point on the other end so I can get into the nooks and crannies, and also it allows me to roll. So, again, I always use a foundation brush, but lately my skin's been a little more sensitive than usual, and I just kind of wanted to get that extra coverage and conceal that redness. So, again, I'm going to pat and not blend. Just getting all the nooks and crannies. You can notice that I use the sponge on one area of my face at a time. Just make sure you really perfect it. Then we're going to move on to concealer. Normally I use a concealer brush, but I had to get to work. So today I'm using my fingers. Cinema Secrets is one of my favorites, especially for under the eye. I tend to be a little more dry under the eye. So I'm just going to do it in the inner corners where we're dark. Make sure you don't pull it too far out. That can just highlight imperfections. And then I just do a little bit on the top of my brow bone in the front because I tend to be red there lately. I don't know what's going on, but just, conceal any blemishes and redness. Moving on to powder, I use C2, which is a yellow base. Counteracts the redness. You can tell I blend a little bit and then I also tap. Make sure I get a full coverage. Perfect. And then I use the banana out of my contouring palette to conceal and set underneath the eyes. Again, just set that concealer underneath the eyes. I use all three of the darker shades blended together, and I just look for my cheekbone using my finger just like that. Yep. And then I just blend it out for just, again, a really soft contoured look, as well as just adding some color. I'm definitely more of a natural girl, so, well, kinda. So again, blend a little bit in your forehead line. Where the sun would naturally hit you is basically where you want some color. I am also going to work it into my jawline, but first I'm going to show you a little trick, and that's taking a thin brush right into the crease of your chin. What that does is it creates an illusion of a fuller pout. So if you want a fuller pout, also known as your bottom lip, go ahead and just do a little bit of that darker color right in the crease. Here I am working it into my jawline. And then we're moving on. So I got a sample of the Becca Shimmer. I'm going to use a little bit of that in Opal right on my cheekbones, just in whatever's left in my brush in my forehead. Just a really soft glow. These are intense, so you want to take it easy. I'm going to use a soft pink blush right on the apples of my cheek. Make sure you don't go too far back, and make sure you don't go too far into your nose. Just where you would naturally blush when you'd get embarrassed or laugh. Everyone's favorite is the brows. I'm using the darker shade to outline the bottom half of the brow first. and the second half. And then I turn it over using the spoolie, brushing that powder up and through my brow hair. Then I take that lighter shade and use that for the first half of my brow because we want them to look as natural as possible. And then moving on to the next brow, same thing. You want to outline the second half of your brow with the darker shade, even on the top, creating a higher point and bringing it down for that higher arch. Using the lighter shade, filling in the first half of that brow. Step back, work it through. Yep. Always step back, take a look, measure it, make sure it looks good. Make sure you're nice and even. My favorite brow gel. This is mine, so it's perfect. It just helps tame your brows, keeps them in place. I use it with or without the powder, but I always use it. And it doesn't get flaky. Now we're going to curl our lashes using the Frida technique, which is pump, pump, lift. And then you're going to pump, pump, very gently lift it up, very gently, and then let go. Now you're going to get your mascara ready. You're going to start at the root of your lash, working your way up in a zigzagging motion. So root of the lash, back and forth, working your way up. A lot of women tend to do the up and down strokes, but you don't want to do that. You can see right here as I move that wand through my lashes. Second coat. Sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 coats. I personally love my natural lashes, and I like the way I can build them. So if I just want a softer look, I'll do 1, 1.5, 2 coats. If I want that intense look, then I'll go for 2 to 3 coats. Same motion. Just work that through. Start at the base of your lashes, zigzagging, working that wand up. And I just kind of look around and place them. I'm working it through the bottom of my lashes, whatever is left on the wand. I do not stick it back into the tube. And that just gives you luscious lashes on your lower lid. I'll still, sit back, take a look, kind of place them. That's what I'm doing now, is I'm placing them for that fanned out look. Sure it looks good. I'm going to line my lips with Elixir, which is a pink with a brown undertone lip liner. It's a gel formula. I love it. So it glides on really easily, and then it actually sets and stays put. Just line your lips. And then I'm going to take Moi, which is a pink with a gold, and just fill in my lips with that. And that completes my look for today. I hope you enjoyed the look, and thank you for watching.